Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I can live with things not as they ought to be. I can snatch a sorry crumb of comfort from the jaws of what might have been victory. I may do like everyone. I put my head down on the pillow when the day is done. I may do. We're headed for a future, not headed for a fall. I don't know what this world's about, but this will be our year. I don't know why I'm singing out, but this will be our year. Day by day, we'll build it, make a life, make something to call our own. Just enough to keep the wolf at bay, just enough so we don't feel so alone. I may do like everyone. What's the point regretting all the things you've done? Yeah, I may do. That's what it takes, yeah. You keep on keeping on, and you learn from your mistakes. I don't know what this world's about, but this will be our year. Oh, I don't know why I'm singing out, but this will be our year. Hold on now. This will be our year, come on now. This will be our year. I may do like everyone. I put my head down on the pillow when the day is done. I may do, that's what it takes, yeah. You keep on keeping on, you learn from your mistakes. I don't know what this world's about, but this will be our year. Oh, I don't know why I'm singing out, but this will be our year. Hey, hey, hey. I don't know what this world's about, but this will
Yes,
be
yes, yes.
our year.
Here we go.
I don't know why I'm
Habits.
singing out, but this will be our year. Come on now, this will be our year. Hold on now, this will
That'll
be
do, won't it, eh?
our year.
This will be our year, dear listener. This will be our year. 03444 991 1000. Halfway through the number, I was going to say something else. If you joined us on the New Year's Eve show, well, there was a young person who came on the show that didn't actually want to be on the show. Some of you heard my nephew Dylan. He didn't realise he was on the radio. Oh, God, he was so upset. He was so upset. But there was someone who was supposed to be on the show, and they fell asleep. I have it on good authority, my eldest son, who'll be 7 in a couple of weeks.
Hey, Dada.
Hey!
Yeah.
You managed to stay awake this time.
Yeah.
What happened on New Year's Eve?
Wait, when's that?
That was the night you were supposed to come on the radio, and yet when I phoned you up... You fell asleep.
Yeah.
But you managed to stay awake tonight.
Wait.
Yeah.
Who's copying me?
Who's copying you?
Yeah.
Who is?
Someone is.
Who is? Who's copying you?
Listen.
Is there just an echo on the line?
I think there is.
Hang on a minute. Let me move. If I do that and do that, is the echo gone?
Wait. You know.
Oh no! I'm sorry to hear that there is an echo. How have you? Can you talk through the echo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not.
How have you managed to stay awake tonight?
I had a bath. It was about an hour long.
An hour-long bath?
Yeah.
Did we have any water? Because we've had trouble with the water, haven't we, the last few days?
Yeah, we had loads.
Oh, there's loads of water now, is there?
Yeah, it filled up mostly all of the bath.
But did it fill up quickly or slowly?
We did some at a time, because we did like a quarter.
Yeah.
And then.
Yes.
Because it got cold, we more.
Yeah, more.
It got cold again.
Yeah.
More.
Yes.
Got out.
And you were in there for an hour?
Yeah, about.
I bet your whole body looks like a prune.
It doesn't.
Doesn't it? Did it not go? Do your fingers and your toes not go all? When they go funny. I mean, when they're funny.
The whole bottom of my toes.
Yeah. And is your brother the Flash asleep?
Yes, he is.
Is he there? Is he there next to you?
No.
Oh, okay. He's in
We're on the other side of the red. But, Dada.
Yes?
It's this phone Auntie Day, and I'm going to say something to them.
You've just phoned Auntie Jo?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to say something to them because we told them to listen to you.
Go on then. Beautiful. Then you speak to your auntie who's in New Zealand. Away you go.
Hello, Auntie Jo and Uncle Ivan. Auntie Little Pepper.
Hang on a minute. Surely you would have said that on the actual telephone call that you made, you pudding.
And hello, New Zealand.
Yeah, well, that's better. Now we've got the whole country involved. Tell me about your Christmas, eh? How did it go?
Very good.
Very good. What was your... And you can't say all of them, because if you say all of them... I know how your brain works, boy. If you say all of them, I will get rid of all of them, okay? What? Because you always say, whenever I ask you what's your favourite, all of it.
All of them!
Yeah, exactly. But if you say all of them, then all of those presents downstairs are going in the bin, okay? So,
all of them.
What was your favourite present?
All of them.
Well, they're all going to get chucked in the bin tomorrow, you pudding.
They are.
Yeah. And did you, so you fell asleep during New Year's. So why didn't you tell because we're on the radio now, okay?
Yeah.
So there's literally 132 people listening to us.
No, 132 million.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yes, Daddy is a very successful broadcaster. There are millions of people listening to us right now. Why don't you tell them what you've been up to over the Christmas holidays?
I got the Lego Ewok Village.
The Lego Ewok Village. There's a cough.
Yeah?
No, that was a cough. And what games have we been playing on the Xbox today?
The weird card game called Burnout.
The Burnout, where you just go around crashing cars. Mm-hmm. Fun, isn't it? Right, listen. I need to get on with the rest of the show. Sorry? Why are you whispering?
Take me down to the city where the
Sing it.
Where the grass is green and
Sing it properly. We've been playing this game called Burnout, and the song at the start. Sing it, eh?
Take me reach out too far. That city with the grass is green and so pretty.
It's the theme tune to this game. So the two boys have been singing Paradise City constantly.
I haven't.
Yes, just do as you're told, boy. Do as you're told.
Dad.
Do as you're told, eh? Or there'll be trouble. You had a good holiday though?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Go to sleep now. Sorry?
You go to bed.
Well, I can't go to bed. I'm at work. You go to bed. Hang on a minute. I'm the dad. You go to bed.
You go to bed.
You go to
Throw
bed.
yourself on your chair and go to sleep.
What did you say?
Ian. Lee.
Oh, you're in so much trouble tomorrow, sunshine. So much trouble.
I know.
Yes, you are.
You are.
Good night, eh?
Good night, Ian Lee.
Cutting you off now. Goodbye.
Bye.
There we go. Absolutely gutted he couldn't make it on the New Year's Eve show. 7 in a couple of weeks. Unbelievably rude. Now, there's a reason why I got him on, right? There's a reason why I got him on. Because we're going to get lots of new listeners tonight. Because on the other station, Nigel Farage is doing a show. Which is brilliant for us. Because when Hopkins did a show, we got loads of new listeners, right? And so we get loads of new listeners. But it really got me thinking. I don't want to play Farage Bingo where we guess what he's talking about and then we go and listen to a little bit of it. Because it's going to be Trump. It's going to be Brexit. It's probably going to be Muslim. And I don't want to dwell on the meanness, right? I don't want to dwell on the meanness. So tonight, and you know the rules, dear listener, by the way. You can call in about anything you want. 0344 499 1000. We call you back. But I thought tonight we could make a list of things that are brilliant. Now, instead of feeding the hate machine, instead of even promoting the hate machine that's on that other place, God knows why they've given that Muppet a job, but yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm being hateful. Let's get back from that. Instead of feeding the hate machine, instead of being part of the hate, let's celebrate, shall we? It's the first proper show of the new year. Let's celebrate. So I want to know what is brilliant. It's that simple. It's that simple. My boys are brilliant. That's why I got the eldest on. The youngest would have been on, but he conked out because he's a lunatic. My boys are brilliant. And one of the reasons they're brilliant is because they remind me of other things that are brilliant that I've forgotten about. And one of the things they've reminded me that are brilliant, they said a really weird thing to me yesterday. And because we live in a computer age, Charles says something weird, you can act on it immediately now with your phones or your computers. And they said, Daddy, is it true that magicians can cut women in half? And of course, they've never seen it. You don't really you've not got your Paul Daniels or your WhatsApp. You've not got that on TV anymore. So they've not seen a magician cutting a woman in half. I went, boys, it's not only true, it's amazing to see, and we're going to watch it. Now, I'm a big fan of magic. I think Paul Daniels was a genius, but I went in hard. I went in to the world of David Copperfield. Not particularly fashionable magician, right? But for me, he's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. And we went on YouTube, and the videos on YouTube aren't great quality, but we went on YouTube and we found some David Copperfield clips. And he's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. And I love all that. He does all the pointing and that. And in some of the 90s videos, he's got that big mullet and the big bushy eyebrows and his shirt is kind of undone to his navel. And he's doing that. And it's a bit cheesy. And it's slick. And it's brilliant. And we watched some amazing videos. We watched him. We couldn't find him cutting a woman in half because he wouldn't do that, would he? Jason and Dana, I'll come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000. We found a clip where he cuts himself in half with one of those giant wood saws. He's strapped to a table, cuts himself in half. Oh, it's fantastic. And of course, the kids have never seen anything like this. We've all seen these tricks, so we sort of know what to expect, right? The kids hadn't seen it. So the bit where it looks like it's going wrong, and suddenly the clock, the timer explodes, and the saw goes nuts and just cuts him in half, and he pretends to be dead. The boys are like, is he actually dead? Oh, is he actually dead? All of the videos we then watch ended with my youngest going, can we find a video where he really dies? Is he actually dead? And the trick is amazing. If you've not seen it, it's amazing. So he's cut himself in half. His head and his arms are on one bit, and his legs are on the other. And they wheel him around, and he waves at his feet, and his feet start wiggling. Brilliant. Then we watched another clip. A clip where he cuts himself in half with a laser. I showed it to Kath before the show, and we were laughing at it, because the first minute, it's a bit cheesy. He cuts himself in half with a laser, and then he stood up. And then they hold like a sheet in front of him. And so you can see his head and body above the sheet, and below the sheet you see his legs. And then he does some kind of movement, so it kind of looks like his legs aren't connected to his body. And Kath was laughing, going, well, this is a bit rubbish. But then they whip the sheet away, and he still does it. And his legs aren't connected to his body. His body stops. And then he's holding on to his legs, and the legs walk down the stairs. Oh, it was brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. And then we found a clip, and I remember with this when it happened. I remember him hyping up this trick. This was in the 99. I was at college. I was in the third year of college. So it would have been about 94, 95. And I'll tell you why I remember it so specifically. We'll go to the break in a minute. I'll tell you why I remember it so specifically. Because David Copperfield came over to England to promote this trick and some shows he was doing at Earl's Court. And he was on something like Pebble Mill at 1, right? So it was a big coup. And me and my friends were watching it, and we taped it for some reason. And it was him being interviewed. And then they said, right, have you got any questions from the audience? And it went to this young man, and I remember it vividly because we watched it on repeat for an hour in hysterics. If anyone can find me the link on YouTube. So they said, yeah, you young man, have you got a question? He went, yeah, David, this is on live TV. David, have you ever, oh God, he actually said it, he froze. Oh, God, he froze, and it was brilliant. But the trick in question was the one where he flies. Have you seen that, where he flies? He actually flies around it's incredible. And I thought, well, let's show it to the boys, although they've been watching all the superhero films recently where the effects are so amazing that seeing a bloke with a mullet flying is perhaps not going to be quite so impressive. Oh boy, it was. Oh, I had shivers down my spine watching it because it's an incredible trick. Beautiful. He lies on his back and then he sort of pushes his arms down and he goes up. Oh, it's so stunning. Absolutely stunning. And the boys were blown away by it. And of course my eldest is going, well, it's string. It's string. But then they do a brilliant thing. They put him in a box, a Perspex box, and put a lid on it. And he's still flying. And then he walks upside down on the ceiling of the... Oh, it's so good. So good. So it got me thinking tonight. David Copperfield got me thinking tonight. And Dana and Jason and Caddick, I will come to you in a minute, I promise. 0344 499 1000. With all the hate going on, with you know, people that have divided this country being given radio presenting jobs. Oh, with all of the abuse that has been heaped on me over Christmas online. Let's just put all of that to one side. Right? And tonight, let's just talk about what is brilliant. What is brilliant? 3 things I've given you already. My sons, David Copperfield, and we kicked off with a Narina Palo song. This will be our year. Narina Palo. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to try and get her on the show. Brilliant. Everyone thinks of her for the Sophia hit. Oh, go. You go deeper than that, guys. Just, stunning. 3 things there. David Copperfield, Narina Palo, my boys. What's brilliant for you? 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Everyone thinks it's very funny on Twitter that my son was calling me Iain Lee. He does. I don't know why he does. Yes, Iain Lee, when he wants to wire me up. Yes, Iain Lee. What's brilliant? 0344 499 1000. Jason!
Hello.
Hello, Jason.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm not bad.
Great stuff, mate.
So you were advertising Paul Ross. Did he get over that dogging thing then?
Well, let's not talk about that, Jason, because that's a bit mean. We're trying not to be mean, and Paul Ross has been very, very kind to me over the last couple of weeks. So,
I like him as a
yeah, I will. Listen. You telling me you've never done anything that you're embarrassed about?
No, I've done loads of stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why don't we just leave it as it is, all right? Because he's a top bloke and he's been really kind to me recently. So let's just leave it at that.
I didn't meant to be rude or anything.
Well, bringing it up is a little bit rude. Anyway, Jason, what you got for us?
No, I would like to talk about the Patterson footage.
The what?
The Patterson footage.
What's the Patterson footage?
It's the Bigfoot thing from 1967. Your producers said they would know about this kind of stuff.
Okay. What would you like to say about the Patterson footage of Bigfoot from 1967? Language, buddy. That's a yellow card.
Sorry.
That's a yellow card, Jason. How can you not go 3 minutes without swearing?
I've learned. This is how I've learned to speak.
Like a rude, slack-jawed idiot.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Cletus,
maybe.
Like Cletus.
Yeah. Yellow card, mate. One more and you're out. And I'm going to be stricter this year. I got slack last year and let people get away with stuff that they ain't going to get away with in 2017. What do I think about it? Well, I don't think there's any such thing as Bigfoot, Jason.
Really?
Yes, really. What do you think Sasquatch is?
Well, yeah, exactly. Sasquatch, Yeti.
Yeah, they're just other names for something that doesn't exist.
That's not true.
Well, where's your evidence that Sasquatch is real, apart from that footage from 50 years ago?
I've sat through a two-hour YouTube documentary.
Oh, a YouTube documentary! Oh, I didn't know there were documentaries about it on YouTube. I've sat through YouTube documentaries. Here's the thing: anybody can put a documentary on YouTube. Just cobbling together some footage and some captions on iMovie doesn't make it a documentary.
But they had eyewitnesses.
Oh, in that case, it's real.
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah, it must be real then. Oh, in that case, no, I think the Sabruder footage is real.
Oh, dude.
Oh, no, that footage is real.
The Zapruder
footage is real because that's JFK being shot. Frame 313, my friend. You're a conspiracy theorist? Where's frame 313?
Oh, wow, you know your stuff.
I know my stuff. Frame 313 from the Zapruder footage is the shot. It's the frame where the bullet enters Kennedy's head. It's missing.
It is missing, you're right.
But 312 and 314 are there, buddy.
Okay, I'm going to have to look on YouTube and check this out.
Yeah, go and find another documentary on YouTube and let me know what it tells you. And while you're doing it, could you do me a favour and roll a big fat one?
Oh, I don't smoke pot.
Wow, and you sound like this normal?
No, it's quite late now, Ian.
Yes, you're right, Jason. It's quite late. I think maybe you should go to bed.
Oh, maybe.
Tutty bye. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. You can call in about anything. I've decided, though, this week, tonight anyway, I've let you lot get away with murder. I've let you lot get away with absolute murder with your calls. So, new rules. These are the new rules, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready for the new rules, Caddick?
Ready?
Here we go. no swearing. We got a little bit loose with some category C's and category B's, and that got us in a little bit of trouble before Christmas when some stuff went out that really shouldn't have gone out. And it's been on my mind all over Christmas that we let a word get out that we should not have let a word get out, and it upsets me. That I was slack. I wasn't up to speed. So, it also reminds me that the kids are listening. We've got kids listening. We've got my nephew, won't be listening after he came on New Year's Eve. It spilled his guts to me and then didn't realise he was on the radio. Oh, God, I felt terrible about that. Poor lad. But we've got kids listening. So, I'm gonna let's not even have anything approaching bad language. I got a little bit excited at the prospect of doing a late night show, and the freedom that brought. And I've allowed my language filter to dip slightly. Let's raise it. Let's raise the language filter sky high, shall we? So I don't want no bad language. I don't want no swears. Yellow cards will be given out. Second offence, boom, you're off. Okay? Have we got that? Secondly, if you're talking rubbish, like the last caller, I'm going to tell you you're talking rubbish. Because quite often I've sat here and listened to people talking rubbish and gone, oh, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, right, that's great. But if you're talking rubbish, I think we know each other well enough now. If you're talking rubbish, I'm going to tell you you are talking rubbish. 0344 499 1000. How to stop people calling in by telling them off before you've even started. There was a third thing. I can't think what it was. There was definitely a third thing, Caddick.
All right.
But I can't think what it was.
Come on. You just log into the memory bank, you'll get it out.
It'll come out some point. Good evening, Caddick.
Hip, 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 Happy New Year.
Hip, happy New Year to you.
Oh, what a day 2017's been already.
What a day 2017 has been already. Why? What's happened?
Both my football teams lost.
Oh, I couldn't care less.
Sorry.
By the way, here's the thing. Nobody famous is going to die this year.
Touch wood.
No, it's not going to happen. I felt it in my water. Not that we've got much water at our house at the moment. Thanks, Thames Water. But
what happened?
I read it in the runes. Nobody famous is dying this year.
Well, I'm going to have to put pay to that prediction and sadly inform that somebody has died.
Struth! Whom?
Art critic John Berger has died at the age of 90.
Who?
John Berger.
Who?
An art critic.
Who?
He won the Booker Prize for his novel G.
Who?
An art critic and author.
Who?
John Berger. Berger.
Who?
I've never heard of him before.
Well, then he's not famous!
Well, as famous as I've driving on BBC News.
Who's this text from Craig? Oi, Iain, you want positivity on the show, and yet you were so negative and dismissive and incredibly grumpy. What are you talking about? Only to the lunatic that thought Sasquatch was real. Sasquatch. There was a brilliant guy on The Unexplained with Howard Hughes a while ago talking about Sasquatch and how they're an alien life form that is building an army. They're building a Yeti army to take over the world.
Oh, it's starting off in London Underground, and then Doctor Who will fight him with his sonic screwdriver in the TARDIS.
Here's the thing. I watched the Doctor Who Christmas special this year because the boys are kind of old enough to watch it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit ropey.
Well, I thought Peter Capaldi's no good Doctor.
He's magnificent as the Doctor. Absolutely magnificent. Here's my beef. When BBC Drama, sets things in America, but they've not gone to America. So they've got British actors. Everyone thinks they can do an American accent, right? And there are some British actors that can do it brilliantly. Is it Andrew Lincoln in The Walking Dead? Brilliant.
I've never seen Walking Dead.
He's brilliant in it, right? And there are some that are brilliant, right? Not Idris Elba. But to do
Alex Kingston in ER?
Who?
Alex Kingston.
Yeah, sure. Most British actors can't do a convincing American accent, right? And It was filmed to look like New York, but it just looked like a BBC green screen studio.
In Cardiff.
And the story was a little bit dull. So I'm sitting there with the boys going, boys, we can watch the Doctor Who Christmas special. And within 10 minutes, they were off, because it was boring. And I was off, because it was boring.
Well, this new series that's coming in this spring, we've got a lot to live up to.
Well,
with a new companion.
It's certainly... Oh, who's the new companion?
Her name is Pearl Mackie.
Yeah, well...
And she played a character called Bill.
I tell you what, come on, add to this list. What is brilliant, Caddick?
What is brilliant about 2017?
No, about life.
But when you choose a horse and it comes in for you...
There we go, winning a bet on a horse. I'm going to just put the GGs, there we go. The GGs. That's brilliant.
What, the Bee Gees?
The Bee Gees are brilliant. There we go. We've got a brilliant list going. The GGs and the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
That'll do. That'll do, Cads.
It's a good start.
It's not a bad start, is it, mate? All right, fella. How's Mum doing? Is she all right?
Yeah, she's all right. She went to the loo earlier.
Thanks for calling, Alan. Okay. I mean, at what point in the conversation, how's your mum doing, do you think what they mean by that is, has she been to the loo recently? Not nice, but yeah. I was going to say thanks, but no cigar, and then I realised maybe there was. Dana! That was...
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Dana, hip, hip, hip.
Happy New Year to you, your family, and all the listeners.
No, not the listeners.
All right, well, you and your family then.
Lino is tweeting me, Ian, I saw a documentary about a bionic man and he had a fight with Sasquatch. Definitive proof. I've seen that documentary as well, Lino.
Yeah, I remember that as well. So it must be true. It must be true.
The thing is, right, there are so many documentaries, in inverted commas, on YouTube, because guess what? Anyone can post something on YouTube and call it a documentary. There's documentaries about famous paedophiles, right?
Ooh.
Like you watch it and you go, well, me and Kath went down a rabbit hole once and watched all these celebrity paedophile documentaries. And they go on for hours and they're all just done on iMovie. And so you got all these crappy swirling effects. And basically all it is just like text coming up on the screen that tells you why such and such is a paedophile.
So taking it off Wikipedia, basically.
Yeah, there's no actual... No actual... Hey, I had to delete something. I checked my Wikipedia page for the first time in years the other day. I wonder if they've put it back. Because I very rarely do I use Wikipedia. If I'm being lazy, I will, but it means nothing to me. Oh, they've taken it out, yeah. Because on my credits, I've got a very long list of credits. I can't read them all to you now. But the first one was... I can't remember what the first one was, but it was about me being a gay man in a gay film. I don't even know what it was, but the joke was gay. And so I deleted that. And I thought, isn't it funny that people are still making gay jokes? Oh, you're gay. You're gay. Oh, he's gay.
2017.
2017. And today, I was struggling to try and find something to watch on Netflix, right? And I thought I'd watch... Because I watched a documentary about North Korea the other day. So I thought I'd watch The Interview. You remember The Interview?
Oh, yes.
With James Franco, who I think is absolutely brilliant, and the other fella. And they have to go to North Korea to kill Kim Jong-un.
It caused a war nearly,
It nearly caused a war. Sony got hacked. Everyone got hacked. There was still threats of nuclear bombs and all of this stuff. And if people went to the cinema to see it, they were going to get gunned down and all of that, right? And I watched the first 10 minutes. I do think James Franco is brilliant, right? And he's playing a chat show host.
That's right. And you've got Seth Rogen, haven't you?
Yeah. And he's interviewing Eminem. And he's going, now, Eminem, some people might find your lyrics homophobic. And Eminem goes, well, I don't know how they can because I'm gay. And everyone's going, oh, hey, he's just come out as gay. And then they're doing loads of gay jokes about rectums and stuff. And I was watching this thinking, James Franco, Seth Rogen and Eminem, I don't particularly like Eminem, but I have respect for him. And I thought, they're just doing like gay. Now listen, I did a programme years ago called The 11 O'Clock Show. We did a lot of gay jokes. Right? I'm not particularly proud of it. It was 15, 16 years ago, 17 years ago, 17, 18 years ago, God. I'm not particularly proud of it, and some of those clips I watch back and there's loads of gay jokes and I cringe with embarrassment, right? And I was watching this thinking, blimey, this film should have been banned, not because of the North Korean element, just because of the lame 1980s gay jokes.
Yeah.
He's gay. Oh my God, Emma, he's gay. It was just like, whoa.
I wouldn't want to be it these days. I think it was hard enough when I was growing up, you know, being gay, being a lesbian and all that. But hey, I tell you, I wouldn't want to do it today. But that's a different story.
But people ask themselves, would I be disappointed if my boys were gay? And I would, but only in as much as, not because, you know, I'd be like, oh my God, my boys are gay. You know, whatever, you know, love is love, man. Only because, the only reason I'd be disappointed is because of the prejudice that is still existent in the world now. So it wouldn't bother me one jot who they sleep with, who they want, you know, beautiful. No. As long as you find someone you love and you're happy, that's fantastic. But it would upset me knowing that instantly their life is significantly tougher than that of a heterosexual
harder.
person. Yeah,
potentially harder because of just other people's prejudice and ignorance.
And boy, oh boy, haven't we come a long way? But you know, you still get a bit of queer bashing going on. Yeah. What was I watching? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, yes. So that's James Franco in a nutshell. Dana, we'll find out what you called in for after this.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give me a call, you're more than welcome. And the rules, I'm sat here asking what's brilliant, right? But you can call in about anything you want. I really want to stress that. And I know because Farage is on the other place, we're going to get a load of new listeners tonight. Welcome. You're welcome. You're tired of the hate too? You're bored of the Brexit and the Trump and the Muslims? Phone in. Well, you found a safe place. Okay. Generally, we don't talk about Trump, Brexit, or Muslims, because it's pretty standard radio phone in fare. Christmas Eve going into Christmas morning, and New Year's Eve going into New Year's morning. They were talking on some other radio stations. They were talking about those things. They were still doing those phone-ins. Christmas Day, when I drove my mum back to the care home in the evening. I put a bit of the other place on. And they were doing all the usual. They were doing Brexit and Trump and immigrants and... It's Christmas Day, guys. And Boxing Day. Went to the gym on Boxing Day. I'll tell you about that later on. I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost a lot of weight in the last week. You won't believe how much weight I've lost. And they were doing all the hate-filled phone-ins on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. I couldn't believe New Year's Eve, right? We did the New Year's Eve show, and there were some good bits in it. It was really nice to meet the four gentlemen that came in, and there were some good bits. I don't think I came away from the New Year's Eve show a bit disappointed. I didn't quite hit the sweet spot. There were some brilliant bits in it, and of course, all the four people that came in are now worried that it was their fault. No, not at all. Totally me. I didn't quite hit the sweet spot. I didn't quite deliver the show that I wanted to deliver. And so I came away from it a bit disappointed. But it was some good show, some good bits and pieces. I'm not writing it off at all. But it wasn't quite the show that I knew that we were capable of delivering. So I felt a little bit bad about that. And the show finished at 1. And I said to the four gentlemen, I'll give you a lift to Waterloo Station. Get in my car, and we're near Waterloo. I'll give you a lift. And we're in this tiny street, Hatfields, and on one side, either side of it, there's main streets, big streets, right? And I got in my car, and we went to one end of the street, and there were barricades up. Can't come through here, because everyone was leaving the fireworks. Okay. We'll go to the other end. Went to the other end. Barricades. We were stuck in the street. we were stuck in the street. So I said to JP and Danny and John and Eben, guys, you're going to have to get out and walk. Waterloo's that way. They were like, oh, yeah, cool, okay, fine. There were loads, I mean, literally tens of thousands of people around. And I said to Kath, I texted her saying, we're going to be stuck here for a little bit. The roads are blocked. We're locked in. I'm going to go and have a word with them and find out how long it's going to be. She thought I was winding her up. So I went down and spoke to the people at the end. And I said, how long do you think it's going to be before we can drive out? She said, go and ask that copper. So I went and asked the copper. It was very jolly. Very jolly. And this was about 1:15. And he said, it's going to be an hour at least. What? An hour at least. Oh. So I came back here. And me and Kath played Uno. Uno, there's a thing that's brilliant. Uno. 0344 499 1000. What's brilliant? We played Uno, and then after about half an hour, we said, well, we might as well go and have a walk, and see what's going on. And we went off, and we had a walk, and there were this is about 2:00 now, tens of thousands of people just puking up. Lying in the gutter. And I'm not knocking that at all. Beautiful. It's New Year's Eve. You have a great time. You knock yourself out. I'm not one of those people rowing. There was a lot of arguments going on. Lot of arguments. And I'm not one of those people that's, you look at the Mail today and it's all shaming women, mainly women, for going out having a good time and getting bladdered. Good on you. It's not, why are we shaming people? But I was thinking, could you all hurry up, please? And it got so late that we even went to a couple of hotels to see if we could get a couple of rooms, but they were all booked up. So we had a falafel wrap, because that was a street, there was someone selling falafel wraps, and we had that, and then we went and sat back in the thing, and I think we managed to get out of our street about 2:45, something like that. And then, of course, all the roads were blocked, and we had to, instead of going right, we had to go left and take this really tortuous route around South London, and, oh, God. It was awful. I got back. Well, we got just after 4. I think Kath got back about 4:30. Why am I telling this? There was a reason I'm telling this, and I can't think. So listening to these other stations on the way back, and there was a lovely programme with Simon Callow on 4 Extra, where he was trying to find his old school, and it was wonderful. He pronounces, get this, Simon Callow pronounces cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac. There was a magnificent cul-de-sac. I love Simon Callow. So listen to that, and then when that finished, I listened to some of the other phone-in stations. It was the usual. It was immigrants. It was Muslims. It was hate. It was fear. It was stirring it up. It was scaring you. This was New Year's Eve, New Year's morning. Come on, guys. Where can you just have a laugh these days on the radio? On a phone-in radio, where can you just have a laugh? There's hardly anywhere. There's a couple of places here. Here you can do it. John Holmes, you can do it. James Whale and Ash, but that's only because you're laughing at their incompetence. Come on. So, for the new listeners, there was a point to this. I'm finally getting back to thing. Then we'll get back to Dana. Then we'll get to Lee. And then it could be you. 0344 499 1000. We call you back. For the new listeners, you're very, very welcome. I'm glad that you are tired of the hate. We don't talk about the Muslims. We don't talk about Brexit. We don't talk about Trump. Unless you've got something completely original and mind-blowing to say on those things. I mean, you can phone in and talk about being a Muslim, but we're not going to point the finger at you and go, ugh, you're funny and you blow it, we should all be scared of Muslims because they blow us all up, all of that stuff. No. We're not. This is not a show about hate. Okay, this is a show about love, about celebration, about a bunch of people clinging to a rock and spinning through space and doing our best to survive. Because it's hard work, isn't it? More on that after 11, I think, because I'll tell you about me losing weight and how I'm doing it. The Iain Lee diet. I've lost a lot of weight. 0344 499 1000. Dana!
Hello.
I forgot you were there. I do apologise.
No. I think the thing is, all that weight you've lost has come my way. And I'm desperately trying to send it on to someone. So if somebody would like to ring and take the weight off me,
it is like the film The Ring. You got to pass it on to someone. I must be the only person that has lost, and I've lost a lot of weight over Christmas.
Oh, well, good for you, because no one else has.
I'm the only person. I'll tell you how I did it after the nose.
Oh, you've been pumping hard.
Yeah. Oh, I've been pumping like crazy.
I've got to be careful what I say there, because, like I said, I don't want to fall under the new rules and the new regime. No. It was a joy to hear your boy, by the way. That was so lovely.
Wasn't he sweet?
And it reminded me, because earlier I had a phone call from my niece who's nearly 5, and it was just so sweet. You know, she just rang me up, and it was just so lovely to hear her.
When they're that age, when you can start actually having a proper conversation with them, that's when it enters a whole new world.
Oh, it's beautiful. So, but obviously, you know, for you, it's totally. But no, I must just tell you a couple of things, and I don't want to, like I say, get bored. I don't want to fall under the new regime and the new rules. But a couple of things. I hired a car for Christmas. Bright red car.
Never drive a red car, my nan would always say. Don't know why.
And what did I do? I scratched it.
That's why!
And
did you take out the extra, the no claims policy thing?
I did. I took out everything.
Beautiful.
But the scratch was 10 inches long. And I did think of trying to cover it up with a red Sharpie.
Yeah.
I honestly, all the way home on Boxing Day, and when I was driving around Boxing Day, I was thinking maybe I can just use a red Sharpie and they'll never know anything.
Yeah.
But the problem, I'm too honest. So I didn't cover it up with a red Sharpie.
Good.
And obviously they saw it, so I did lose £100 on my deposit. But hey, at least it means I've got a good conscience. And I ended the year feeling quite good. And
they would have found it. They would have found it anyway. Yeah. So to go in and be honest,
Yeah, and I want to hire from them again. So at least I know that I ended the year on.
Last time I hired a car was when we went to bury my dad's ashes in Edinburgh. And I was with my sister, and it was a tense old time, as you can imagine. And at the airport, I had a car, and I don't normally take out the extra insurance. If you pay like an extra £25 a day or something, you don't have to pay the no claim. Yeah, you don't have to pay the no claims or anything, or you don't have to pay the deposit.
Yeah.
And I don't normally do that, but for some reason I did. And on literally an hour later, we drove into Edinburgh and we parked, and I just smashed into a wall in the car park. I just smashed into a wall. I was like, oh, bugger. And so I phoned them up and I said, can I just check, if I've paid the extra £25 and I crash it, do I have to pay anything more? She went, no. I said, good, because I've just crashed your car. She went, oh, okay. And then I crashed it the next day again. I went into the back of a car I was following at a roundabout.
Well, it sounds like you were
Double
stressed
crash.
because of the circumstances.
Yeah.
They were extra strain. No, I can't say the word.
Extra strenuous.
That's the word.
Dana, they were extra strenuous circumstances. I'm sorry, I've kept you waiting for ages. Now I've got to go because we've got another break coming up. Busy first hour of the show. Lee, you'll be on after the news. You, dear listener, could be on as well. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Sympathy and all your flattery won't get me home tonight. All those pretty lies that serve some other kind won't set this spark alight. You were fixed for feeling of a thing for me, and that don't come so easily. It's the conversation while I keep you waiting. It's the bed before you see. You got your fingers on my wrist now, accidentally on purpose. Close enough so I can breathe you. Close enough to make me nervous. So love is hate and love is fire. Fill my head with dumb desire. Turn me on again. Come on and turn me on again. Creature chemistry, the same old enemy. He gets me every time. It's something small you Close enough so I can breathe you. Close enough to make me nervous, yeah, yeah. Love is hate and love is fire. Fill my head with dumb desire. Turn me on again. Come on, turn me on again, yeah. Love is hate and love is mercy. First you kiss and then you curse me. Turn me on again. Come on, turn me on again. Oh, love is hate and love is fire. Fill my head with dumb desire. Turn me on again. Come on, turn me on again. Turn me on again. Come on, turn me on again. Come on, turn me on again. Come on, turn me on again.
So, here's the thing. Oh, man, I love Narina Palo so much. Isn't she brilliant? We'll get her on the show. Well, I'll ask if she wants to come on the show, and if she doesn't, well, I will find out where she lives, and I will implant microphones throughout her house and record that and broadcast that. So, some of you know that, I've been struggling with mental health issues and with depression and with, at its worst, it gets, feelings of suicidal and stuff like that. And so I'm on a lovely combination of medication, citalopram and mirtazapine. And mirtazapine, I guess I've been taking for, I don't know, 8 months, something like that. I don't know. And it's brilliant, right? It's a brilliant drug because what it does is it reduces your anxiety to almost nothing. And it knocks you out and you sleep a lot. It's brilliant. You just sleep a lot. The downside is it doesn't half make you fat. You put on a lot of weight because you're constantly hungry, constantly craving carbohydrates. And there is one school of thought, I don't know how true this is, I kind of buy into it, but there are some people that dispute it. It messes around with with your metabolism and the way your body processes sugar. And I went from, and I don't know how heavy I was under 15 stone. I was 14 something, I'm sure. I was never particularly one for weighing myself, but I was under 15 stone. And I went as high as Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I was 16 stone 7. 16 stone 7. 6, 7, something like that. 16 stone. And I had a big old gut. And I've always been quite a skinny bloke. Then when I turned 30, I started putting on a bit of weight. And then I stopped drinking and doing all kinds of shenanigans. And I started putting on a bit more weight. But that was all right. I looked a bit better with that. I was too skinny when I was, on the other stuff. But this was too big. And this isn't in any way a fat shaming thing. This isn't an attack on overweight people or any of that, right? This is just how I felt with it. Lee, I will come to you in a bit, I promise. 0344 499 1000. This is just how I felt about myself. And the turning point for me was when, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm going to say it. The turning point for me was when I've struggled to put my socks on my feet. I had to turn my body in a funny, I couldn't just bend over and put my socks on. I had to kind of do it from the side to put my socks on. And I thought, yeah, that's not a good, that's not good. And it's that, it was weighing up that balance of, being overweight versus I wanted to kill myself, I guess. And I couldn't shift the weight, couldn't shift it, and I would not eat. And I joined a gym, as you know, and the best I could do was hold my weight steady. By not eating and going to the gym, I could hold my weight steady. It wasn't going down at all, which is what makes me think it messes with your metabolism, right? And the way your body processes sugars and fats and things like that. And also, while I was on this, I still felt lousy. I was sleeping a lot. I could sleep for a good 12 hours, sometimes a good 15 hours. Was always tired. Still felt the anxiety had gone for the most part. Was still there a bit. Still felt miserable. and still would have moments where I thought, oh, God, I just want to kill myself. And they were just like that, oh, God, I want to kill myself. And in the run-up to Christmas, I was getting I was getting quite anxious about Christmas. And I was getting really upset because there are a couple of people, lots of people online like to have a pop, and that's kind of fine. But there are a couple of people, in inverted commas, broadcasters, who, for some reason, and I don't know why, took against me. And, decided to come in for the kill and would send me threatening emails, or one of them sent me a message that started, "Hey, depressed boy, you're a pathetic wanker," and all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't know what I've done. And there's a little bit of blackmail in there. And I think, I don't know what I've done to warrant this. And I was taking it on board more and more. And I was allowing it. I was allowing it. It wasn't. I was allowing it to affect me, and it was getting me down, man. It was getting me really, really down. And that, combined with the weight, combined with the fact that my head isn't wired properly, the run up to Christmas was kind of tough, and I was not looking forward to Christmas. Okay, and my head isn't wired up properly. There are things that that other people can kind of play around with that actually I probably can't play around with. Things like drugs and like alcohol and like chocolate and like shopping and like porn and like sex and all these kind of things that actually, for me, are not particularly healthy. And my head was going crazier and crazier. So. There is a point to this. Kind of a point to it. On Christmas Day, I weighed myself and I was 16 stone 7. And I hadn't eaten that much on Christmas. At Christmas Day, I'd had a good Christmas dinner, and that was it. And I got to 16 stone 7. I thought, right, do you know what? I'm gonna stop these pills. Now, I don't recommend this. I'm not saying this is what you should do. Sensible advice would be to go and speak to your doctor. But I decided I'm going to stop taking these pills, and I'm going to make a real effort to lose some weight. Okay. So the last time I took the pills, I think it wasn't Christmas Eve, because I knew I had to be up early. If I'd taken one, I wouldn't be able to get up early. So I might have taken one Christmas night. That might have been the last one. The mirtazapine, still on the citalopram, but mirtazapine. And so I stopped taking the mirtazapine, right? And I read up the side effect, potential side effects are, and someone who's stopped taking antidepressants in the past, it's a bumpy old ride, okay? It is a bumpy old ride. And I read up what the potential side effects were, and I kind of steeled myself for them, and I kind of, given myself permission that if it gets too bumpy, I can bail out, I can go back on them and do it. But I went for a cold turkey, no cutting down. I thought, I'm just going to stop. 30 milligrams a day, I'm going to stop. And I did. So I guess the last one was on Christmas night, Saturday, a week ago. And, I've gone down, get this, right? In a week, just over a week, I've gone down from 16.7 to 15.10. Imagine, 16.7 to 15.10 in a week. Flipping heck. Now. There's still a bit more to go. I want to get under 15 stone if I can. And it's just dropped off. Partly because I have no appetite at all. The appetite is gone. Beautiful. I can deal with that. I know this is not, again, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not suggesting you should do this. I'm just saying this is what I did. And it's probably not the most sensible advice, but I know my body pretty well, and I will speak to my doctor at some point. But I've lost a staggering amount of weight in a very short time. That will slow down. I've been to the gym a lot. Went to the gym on Boxing Day. Went to the gym 3 times last week. Been to the gym today. Would have been 4 times last week, but my wife was working at short notice, so I had to look after the kids. Fine. I went to a circuits class, I went to a fat burn class, and I think I went to a spin class last week. I did a spin class this evening. Chocolate is pretty much gone, but I'm not beating myself up too much if I kind of have a little bit. And I'm just not hungry. I'm not hungry. Side effects. The side effects this is hard work. I tell you that. on New Year's Eve, I'd had a headache all week, a very low headache all week. And on New Year's Eve, my head started going bubbly. And I can't explain it any better than that. If you've come off antidepressants or you've missed a couple of days, you'll know what I mean. It wasn't the electric shocks. It was like a bubbly head. And I've kind of had that on and off since New Year's Eve. That's kind of tough. I have felt quite nauseous. And if I eat too much dairy, I have to go and lie down for a couple of hours. I literally can't stomach it. I got some cheese for Christmas, so I had a bit of cheese the other night, and I had to go and lie down. I thought I was going to puke. I had some chocolate today. I had to go and lie down because I thought I was going to puke. What other side effects are there? I haven't felt suicidal yet, although that is a potential one. That's a fun one to look forward to. I had a little cry in the kitchen yesterday because we didn't have any water. Now, I wasn't crying because we didn't. We have a bit of trouble with the water, and Thames water are coming out every single day, and we're getting there. We didn't have water yesterday, so I had a little cry in the kitchen. And I've not cried for quite a while. One of the things of this mirtazapine is it makes it really hard to cry. So I had a little cry about that. And of course I wasn't crying about the water. I was crying because my head was all over the shop, because chemicals are rushing about in my brain, because my body is craving a chemical that it's not been having for a week. I was crying for every love affair that's ended in the past, and every, potential love affair that won't ever be in the future. All of the, what I mean? All of these things. And I had a little cry in the kitchen. And here's what I'm allowing myself to do. Every time I feel negative, or I feel sick, or I have a little cry, or I feel lousy, I'm allowing myself to feel it. And I'm also taking myself to one side and remembering that for the next few weeks, this is what it's going to be like, man. That it's a chemical thing. It's a chemical thing. And I'm combating it. Get this. I'm combating it by going to the gym, by walking the dog. I'm doing affirmations. Affirmations. I know. Me doing affirmations. And they're quite good. I'm out walking the dog. I say all these positive things about myself out loud. If you see me walking the dog, I'll be muttering away to myself. And they're kind of, a Californian kind of thing. But do you know what? I just need a little bit of reprogramming. Because my constant thing is, when I mess something up earlier on in here, and I muttered to myself, I wish I was dead. I wish I was dead. Just because I messed up something. I messed up something earlier on. I wish I was dead. That's my natural default setting. Isn't that nuts? So every time I do that, I'll just spin it around and give a little positive affirmation. And trying to reprogram some of the neural pathways, guys. I buy into all that stuff. So that's where I am. There was a reason that I'm telling you that, and I can't think what it was. I certainly don't recommend it as a weight loss program. I'm not suggesting that you do this. Common advice, of course, is sensible advice, is go and see your doctor. But, of course, I couldn't see my doctor over Christmas. And I wanted to do something, and I know my body, and I know, I'm kind of, I have a network of, I have a great friend bloke called Paul that I can call up pretty much every day. He's just a mate, and I can kind of check in with him and tell him how I'm feeling, and he makes suggestions and stuff like that. I've got my therapist fella that I'm seeing tomorrow for the first time in a few weeks, and I'll make an appointment to go and see my psychiatrist at some point in the future. So that's where I am. I'll tell you something it's done as well. And maybe this is coincidence, because I do get like this when I have a bit of time off work anyway. But it's infused me for this job. It's infused me for this. It's made me feel really creative. And I've come up with a long list of people that I want to get on the show. I've come up with some great ideas for the show that me and Kath are going to pursue tomorrow night. It's women callers only. Did I tell you that, Catherine? It's women callers only. We're doing that tomorrow. And we've got loads of other projects on the go, me and Kath. So there's all these bits and pieces, and I think that's kind of happened since I've come off the pills. Why am I telling you this? Because, I feel we have a relationship where you know more about me than a lot of my family do, if I'm completely honest. And I thought you just might be interested to know that that's sort of where I am, really. You don't have to call in about that, of course. 0344 499 1000. Lee, you've been waiting for ages. I will come to you in a minute, I promise. We can carry on talking about things that are brilliant. I'm going to invite Catherine Boyle in a minute, and we're going to just list things that we think are brilliant. You can call in about anything you want. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Lee!
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Lee.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm making a conscious effort to try and change my life and turn it around. It's hard work, but I feel I've been a bit passive the last 8 months, which is fine, because that's what I needed to do. But I'm going to have a go at grabbing life and riding it.
That's your New Year's resolution?
No.
No?
No, don't do them. They're silly.
Okay.
They're silly. I'm just going to have a go and so, but this is what I meant to say, by the way. To the two broadcasters that have been attacking me online, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. Because their anger and their hatred for no reason that I know of. I wish they'd let me know if I'd done something wrong, because I'd apologise. Well, I think there's jealousy. I think there might be, but I think one of them, actually, one's a narcissist, and I think the other one is possibly mentally ill. And I don't say that flippantly. I say that with love and respect, because I've been kind of looking at them online a little bit and just seeing the anger that they generate. And I just think, God, that isn't normal. But thank you, because you've both made me realise I don't want to be a part of that poison. I don't want to be a part of that hatred. And what me and Kath are doing with this show is so much. I don't want to say better, because that is right. We're doing the right thing, and the fact that they're getting angry and upset about it is possibly jealousy, is possibly fear. I don't know what it is, but I want to thank them very much, and I hope they find peace.
Right. Well, I'd like to say it was lovely to hear your son.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't he? He's going to be 7 in 2 weeks.
Show, and you said he was asleep.
Yeah, he fell asleep at 9:20, and he was gutted. And also, my nephew Dylan came on the New Year's Eve show, and he revealed some pretty intimate stuff. And totally my fault. He didn't know he was on the radio, and he was devastated, absolutely devastated that he'd said that stuff on the radio. And I feel. And I know that there's a lot of love for him, and there were so many positive messages for him. But that was bad. That was bad uncling on my part. I should have, when he came on, said, Dills, by the way, mate, you're on the radio. And I didn't, and I let him down, and I feel really bad about that. I let the boy down, and I love him so much. Anyway, Lee, what do you have?
Well, I wanted to say that listening to your son reminded me of my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
She's 4 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And she was adopted out.
Struth. How come?
Well, I conceived her with the mother in December 2011.
Yeah.
Then I split up with the mother.
Yeah.
She was born on the 8th of the 8th, 2012.
Yeah.
I didn't see her. The mother wouldn't let me see her. And then 6 months later, social services contacted me through a private detective, through a PI.
Oh, blimey.
They were looking for me. They couldn't find me in the electoral roll because I wasn't on the electoral roll.
Yeah.
So they found me eventually through this PI.
Yeah.
And I got in touch with them, and they said, we want to do a blood test to make sure you're the father.
Yeah.
Because we're taking her off the mother.
Why were they taking off the mother?
Because the mother wasn't looking after her properly.
Oh, man.
Exactly. She was immature. She was a real kid. She was 19.
Yeah.
And she had borderline personality disorder. So she was a bitch, basically.
Well, Lee,
that's what it means.
No, it doesn't. But borderline personality disorder does not mean a bitch.
It does.
No, Lee, come on, mate. It doesn't. She may have been a bitch to you, but the borderline personality disorder does not mean that.
Okay, fair enough. But whatever. But anyway, they were taking her off her because she wasn't looking after her properly.
Right. So you stepped up to the plate, and
I wanted to take her on.
Right.
And they said, okay, well, we'll consider you. And in the meantime, you get to see her every 3 weeks at a contact centre in Lydney, Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
And I saw her every 3 weeks for a year.
Yeah.
and it was lovely. I got to spend time with her. I got to play games with her. She was up until she was about 18 months old.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. I had a great time with her. We had fun. We played. We giggled. And then they said, we can't let you have her because you're schizophrenic.
Because you're schizophrenic?
Yeah.
Right.
So she got adopted out. But what happened was, they said, who can we adopt her out to one of your family members?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can't think of anyone.
No.
And then my mother stepped up to the plate.
Mm.
And she said, I'll adopt her. So my mother adopted her.
So do you still get to see her then?
No, because what happened was, my mother's husband left her.
Are you taking notes, Kath? Right, okay, go on.
My mother's husband left her after about a month of them having Melody. My mother's husband left her, Roy. He left her.
Right.
So my mother's in her 50s.
Right.
And she was like, I can't look after her anymore.
Well, she'd adopted her.
She adopted her.
So after a month of adoption, hang on a minute. After a month of adoption, she went, I can't do this.
Yes.
Flipping heck.
So I lost her.
Well, surely when you adopt someone, they're your kid.
Yes.
For life.
For life. That's what adoption means. But she gave her up. Because Roy had left her. Because her husband had left her.
Well, so she wasn't that committed then?
I guess not.
So where is she now?
She got adopted by a lovely couple.
Yes.
Who had their own biological daughter.
Yeah.
Who was a couple of years older. And I get a letter once a year. I've had 2 so far. Yeah. It's been a couple of years.
Yep.
And she's been abroad. She's got a wetsuit.
Well.
She's loving preschool and loving big school.
Well, that's good.
And she's got a lovely life.
And how does that make you feel, that you only get a letter once a year?
Well, put it this way. She's got a much better parents than I could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved her to bits. I would have done everything for her. I would have run around and panicked and crapped myself every time she fell over.
Mm.
But I couldn't have been a patch on the parents that they are.
Well, it's a complicated story, but hopefully with a happy ending.
Yeah, she's got a lovely parents who have an older daughter, so she's got a big sister.
Well, that's brilliant. I'm really
pleased.
pleased.
And they take her abroad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I couldn't take her abroad. I'd be too scared.
Yeah.
I couldn't take a child abroad. I'd be too worried about the consequences.
Yeah, well.
So she's got a much better life now than she would have had if she'd have been with me. So, you know, I'm happy for her. I love her to bits, and I'm happy for her. I've got a picture of her on top of my TV, in my front room. My TV and my sofa and my bed are all in my front room.
Mm.
And on top of my TV is a picture of her when she was about 18 months old, and she's beautiful. And I look at her every day, and I read the letter, and I think, you know, well, she's got a great life now, and she's going to have a great life until she's 18. And then when she's 18, I'll meet her.
Well, Lee, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you.
Okay.
Nice one, man.
Okay.
Blimey. Does it make you think, eh? 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Boyley is here.
Yeah.
Is that facing you? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's quiet though, isn't it?
Well,
or am I quiet?
I like that.
Oh.
No, I'm a fan of that. I think that works. We need a vocal hierarchy.
So this is a microphone muzzle?
Wow.
Kinda.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Let's go to Richard.
Okay.
And then we're just going to ping back and forth brilliant things.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can do that.
You can do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Richard.
Hi, carrot cake. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just contemplating. No cake for me.
Oh, yeah, of course. You've lost weight.
I've lost weight, and I intend to lose more weight. So the cakey is goney.
Yeah, about a couple of weeks ago, obviously you told us, I was a bit surprised that you. Well, not really surprised, but you actually said where your specialist comes in. You said you saw someone from the Priory. Don't know if you remember saying that.
What did I say?
I think you said you see someone from the Priory.
Yeah. I see a psychiatrist there, yeah.
That, I'm, to be honest, I'm in a bad way right now. But I thought, bizarrely, that once the year would change number, this is totally logical.
Yeah.
That things would be all right.
Oh, we invest a lot of weight in this. 2016 was a bad year, but 2017 is gonna be the year, and it's all the same. It's all it's all a continuation. So yeah, once that calendar flips over, nothing changes.
Of course, I originally thought because 2016 just started getting worse and worse as it went along.
Yeah.
The bizarre thing was, by the middle of it, I was upset more about things like Brexit, obviously.
Yeah.
Things that were more global, in a way. But by the end, I couldn't even give a monkey about Brexit.
Yeah.
Other things had taken over. But I don't know, it just felt, I thought, it just bizarrely, yeah. But one thing that's been stopping me from seeing someone, which I know I need to, because I've been behaving, weird. Of course, distress to people unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And everything. I'm worried about seeing someone and not seeing the right person. Because if you like on TripAdvisor, you're going on holiday, you can go on TripAdvisor and see, that's a good hotel. That isn't a good hotel. So the good hotel.
Are you worried that people are saying you're a bad hotel?
Well, I'm just worried that I'm going to get, I'm worried that I don't know how to pick the right psychiatrist or psychotherapist or whatever. You said you basically, you say it sounds like how did you choose? Sounds like you paid. Obviously it's a big name, Priory. And
my therapist isn't. My psychiatrist is at the Priory, and he's expensive, man, and I can't really afford to see him too often. So I see him about once every 3 to 6 months, and he basically what a psychiatrist does. A psychiatrist is the one that comes up with the combination of drugs for you, right? And he also offers other suggestions of people that I might want to speak to and books that I might want to read and stuff. But basically, he's a chemist. And I've been seeing this guy for, 8 years. And before that, I was seeing another guy there for a few years, but he retired. And so this is the guy that gives me the drugs. My therapist is a bloke. And I've seen a few, and I saw one years ago and she was lovely. Then I saw one that was rubbish. Then I saw one that was an absolute genius. This American guy, he was a genius, right? And he was brilliant. And he really straightened out a few things with me, but he was just way too expensive and I couldn't justify it. And the guy that I'm seeing now is really clever and is really good and we get on really well and he's affordable and stuff, but it's still expensive, it's just, it's a lot of money.
I don't mind paying top dollar as long as I'm getting results.
But you just have to find someone. How did I get this guy? This guy was recommended by the really expensive guy. The really expensive guy. I'm not even going to say how much it was because it was crazy money. But he was a genius. It's just a case of kind of shopping around. Or this guy I'm seeing now, a friend of mine got in touch a few months ago. And said, I'm struggling. And I said, why don't you speak to this bloke and have a word with him? And he might work for you. And I think they're now kind of working together on stuff, which is great. So your GP is a good place to go. Having a look online is quite a good place to go. Having someone that's near you is kind of an important thing. Someone you can get to easily and someone that you can afford.
One thing I was going to ask you was you just answered that question actually, because until you came out just over a year ago that you suffered from depression.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard you had obviously, none of us, the fans, hadn't heard of you mentioned it before, and now you basically said you've been seeing people for years now.
Yeah.
My question was, was it like a particular event, just over a year ago that triggered it? Or was it, sounds like it was ongoing?
Oh, it's been ongoing. I had a breakdown last year, though, because I got shafted in my old place of work, and a place that I loved, and a place that I was so proud of, and working for people that I thought were my friends, and doing something that I was so proud of, and working for a corporation that I was thrilled to have their 3 letters on my badge. And I was really badly let down, and it was such a spiralling... it was like being divorced and by someone you love, and you think everything's all right, and then suddenly they say, I don't love you anymore, and we're never seeing each other again. It was awful. Such a sense of betrayal. So that prompted a breakdown, which is why perhaps I've been more vocal about it. But I've been nuts for years, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, I've never known. Obviously, maybe I've never. Obviously, we didn't know about it, did we? In the community. But maybe it's probably something to do. There's probably a connection between flawed genius, like Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, I don't know about that. I just don't think. I don't know about that. I don't think my head's wired up properly. That's the thing. And there's stuff. Life is hard work, man, and life is not. To quote John Lennon, nobody told me there'd be days like these. Life, you think you're going to grow up and everything will be easy, and it's not, man. It's hard work, relationships and work and everything.
There's one thing that you did say that has given me a little bit of comfort, which may give you comfort if you look at it in the right way.
Yeah.
You were sort of saying that you're getting old, you're 43,
yeah.
You may only have 30, 40 years to live. You're worried about dying. But what I actually look at that as a positive, I'm 42.
Yeah.
And I look at that, I've only got 20 or 30 years to go.
Yeah, no, I know that thinking. I know that thinking. But then, right, George Michael died, right? And he was only 53. He had an estate worth £105 million. For faith. That's it, basically. For faith. Yeah. And I'm thinking... Christ, he's only 10 years old. He's only 10 years older than me. Now, there's all kinds of things coming about what he may or may not have been up to. But he's only 10 years older. I don't want to die in 10 years. And then I think my dad died at about 63. I don't want to die in 20 years. There's stuff, I want to see my boys growing older.
Yeah, I'm scared of death as well. One thing I'm just worried about, how painful it's going to be and how long it will... if I don't wake up tomorrow morning, that will be a result, I would say. Because I would not have witnessed the decline and whatever leads to death.
I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. And there'll be some people going, what? But I know what you mean. Totally. What are you going to do, Richard?
Well, I think I need to see the GP.
Have you booked an appointment?
I haven't yet, no.
Book an appointment, right, and you might be lucky, because some GPs are brilliant and some are rubbish when it comes to this kind of stuff. But go and have a word with your GP, and if you're not happy with what they say, then go and get a second opinion.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that.
Good luck, man.
Cheers.
Good luck. Bye. I mean, it's more than luck. This is everything's on the line here. But I wish you the best. That's better. Take care, Richard. There we go. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We're going to do a list of brilliant things after this. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yeah, go on, put a microphone on, John. Put it on. Yeah, you might as well. Evening, dear listener. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio, 0344 499 1000. It's a bank holiday tonight.
Yeah.
So,
people are still drinking up.
Good for you.
Supping up what was left.
Supping up. Your Christmas tree is down.
Christmas tree's down, and I found loads of chocolate today.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we got hidden it in the tree.
You got hidden it in the tree?
We hidden it in the tree.
I've worked out what that means.
We'd hidden the chocolate in the tree.
Yeah.
Them, like, dangly ones.
Tree chocolates, yes.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
Gosh, they should call them that. Why don't they call them that?
That's what they are called, tree chocolates.
Why aren't they called danglers?
That's something completely different. Tree chocolates.
Anyway, we've had those down. The kids have had all the ones they like. They don't like the caramel ones for some reason.
Oh, I
Too
like them.
complicated.
I like the caramel ones.
Okay, well, I'll bring you.
No,
a couple.
don't.
No, I'll let you have a sniff of
no.
them. And so we found them, and I've still got bags of presents from my parents' house because they have to go over there. Father Christmas.
Best present you got?
Best present I got. I got some.
You were going to say something rude there, weren't you?
No, I can't remember what I got because when you're the mum, you don't get.
I got a GoPro.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a GoPro.
I got perfume.
Yeah.
Like nice perfume, but because I had a cold all over Christmas, couldn't smell it.
No.
It's nice though. I can smell it now, just about.
Well, something smells. but it's a cheap GoPro. It's not top of the range.
What is it? Is it a real one, or is it like the NAFCO of GoPros?
It's a GoPro, but I need to. I think it's one of the ones that you clip to your head.
What?
So you can
Someone
clip it.
thinks you're an idiot.
So you can clip it to your head like
What
you're on your
for?
bike, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip it on a stick so it's facing me, and I'm going to film me constantly, just my face.
Because you don't spend enough time talking to yourself.
No, I don't.
No.
Got some good books. Got the new Alan Bennett.
Oh, I got some good books. I got a Stuart McConey one. Yeah.
I got
The Pie at Night. It's called.
Why does he always put the word pie in his book
Because Northerners like pies.
Simon Reynolds, Shock and Awe, the history of glam rock. He's coming on the show to talk about it. It's a cracking book. I mean, it's
Your sister
weighty.
got you that, didn't she?
Yeah. Oh, it's weighty. And I was looking at getting him on the show last year, and I thought I've blagged so many books, I can't blag this, and then I got that, and it is weighty. It's a tough old read, but it's brilliant. And I tell you why it's brilliant, right? Because he writes about Gary Glitter. No one writes about Gary Glitter, and he writes about glitter, and it's fascinating. He writes about how they created the sound, the glitter sound. It's all Mike Leander. Mike Leander co-wrote all the Gary Glitter hits, right? And he kind of made the sound, and it's just him in the studio with these drums, double tracking these drums and putting loads of effects on so it sounds this big fat thing. And then he couldn't really play guitar, so he tuned the guitar so it's... Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Maybe I should learn that technique.
And Mike Leander, of course, did the string arrangement for She's Leaving Home by the Beatles.
Oh.
So it's really interesting. And he also, it's good because he writes about Slade as a credible rock band, which is what I've always said.
Of course they are. In fact,
I've always said.
Funny you should say that. I gave Noddy's manager a nudge again today.
Oh, yeah? So when's he coming on?
Don't know, because last time I heard from him was like April last year, and he said he'd get back to me in May. Never.
Okay. Well, so that's something to look forward to, him not getting back to us.
Well, I'll keep pestering him.
But Simon Reynolds is going to come on.
Mm-hmm.
And also over Christmas, lots of you, everyone knows that I like time travel movies. It's the greatest genre. And so I feel a bit nauseous. There's me talking about those pills, and I'm getting a little wave of nausea. It'll be fine, guys. It's just my body. No, don't. What?
If you're going to hurl into the bin.
I'm not going to hurl. That's the problem. I wish I could. But lots of you recommended a time travel drama on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I saw people recommending that.
Well, because the thing is, there are two, and I think I watched the wrong one, because I think people were recommending Frequency, which is a TV spin-off of the movie Frequency, which, remember when my dad died, and I bought loads of I went nuts and bought loads of time travel movies, and the first one I watched was Frequency, and I can't remember who's in it, but it's a cracking film from the 90s. And it's about this.
Is it as good as Chrono Criminis?
It's better than that. And it's about this guy, and he's got a CB radio, and he ends up talking to his dad in 1969.
Yeah, you told me about
and
that.
And he manages to save his life. And there's me, literally a week after my dad's died, and I'm watching a film about a guy who can talk to his dead dad. Jeez, I was in pieces.
Mm-hmm. You watched Contact as well, didn't you?
What's Contact?
The one, Jodie Foster, talking to her dead dad who's an alien.
No, man, I didn't watch that, because that's not time travel.
I know, but you still watched that. I remember you watching it and me telling you not to.
I didn't watch it.
Awful.
I didn't watch it.
After all that, her dad is an alien.
Well, spoiler alert, guys. Anyway, so the TV series, and I watched the first half of that, and it was rubbish. But there's another programme on there called Travellers, starring...
With one L.
Yeah. So it's Travellers with one L, right? And I thought, that's just because it's to do with, like, the computery writing and stuff. But it turns out that in America... they spell Travellers with one L.
The perverts.
That's insane. Because it looks wrong. It looks wrong. And I thought, first of all, oh, that's how you spell travellers. And then I thought, no, that can't be right. But then it's all to do with, like, the writing kind of pops up. And I thought, oh, maybe it's it's computer writing.
It's a design thing.
Yeah. But no. And then I Googled it. I'm Googling how do you spell travellers. And in America, you spell travellers with one L. Anyway, it's brilliant. It's got Will from Will and Grace in it.
I like him.
Yeah, he's good. I was in same bar as him once, but I didn't know who he was at the time. This was years ago.
Good story.
With a guy called Andy Suckling, who developed the Suckling manoeuvre. I can say no more. And he's in it, Eric McCormack.
Yes.
He's brilliant. And I was watching it, and it's brilliant. I caned it all in 2 days. 12 episodes. Whenever you see a thing and it says a Netflix original, you always think, oh, yeah. It is absolutely brilliant.
Primo.
It is brilliant. Really top-notch time travel drama, right? And I saw Eric McCormack, and he's got like 500,000 followers on Twitter. And I looked at all the other actors. They're all unknowns. They've got like 5,000, 6,000 followers on Twitter. So I've messaged them all saying, do you fancy coming on my UK radio show to talk about travellers? And one of them's got back. So one of the actors, I nearly said actress then, but we don't say that anymore, do we? One of the
It's like comedienne. Don't do it anymore.
One of the lady actors.
Oh.
What? She's hot?
Oh. Ian. Stop it.
What have I said?
Just
a
carry
hot
on.
lady actor? What have I said? I can't do anything right with you lot.
You lot?
Birds.
Anyway, so this actor's coming on.
This actor's coming on, yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm really excited because it's such a good programme. I'm really looking forward to it. So those are some of the guests.
Speaking of time travel, I've thought of a good present I got for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the Doctor Who book about one of the Doctor Who's.
Oh, yeah. I got you that.
Not Colin Baker.
No.
That other fella.
John Baker.
Other Baker. Yeah, really funny. From like the 5th line.
Well, you confused me because you tweeted the 5th line was
I
funny.
sent you the 3rd, and because I've recounted.
I was reading
I couldn't
it.
see through the tears of laughter. It's the way he describes his agent as the second most beautiful agent in Europe.
Is that the line that was funny?
Yes.
Because I really...
Because I was reading it in his voice, the second most beautiful agent. And yeah, maybe...
He's not an old black man.
What? You do it then.
You do. I'm the Doctor. No, that's
see,
Roger
you're
Moore.
doing the same one.
I'm doing Roger Moore. The Doctor.
No, that's Sylvester McCoy.
The Doctor. I'm the Doctor.
I didn't realise that he was a Scouser. I thought he was Welsh or something.
Is that call for me, John? No.
This one.
Hang on, turn your microphone on. Turn your microphone. This is John, who I haven't worked with for about 12 years.
For good reason,
we're about to find out why.
Well, go on, John.
He's got to remix Ignition. Hang on.
Oh, I've got to.
There we go. He's there.
The microphone.
So it says on my screen, Chris on the M60. Is he for me?
He is for you, but I just called him back, and then the line dropped off because he's in his car. He's travelling with 2 L's. And
thank you. He's paying attention, unlike a lot of people who work on this show.
Yeah.
And obviously he's in a dead zone because he can't pick up the signal. So I will try calling him back.
Okay.
After this.
Yeah, call him back.
I will.
By the way, just while we've got a minute, how have the last 10 years been for you, all right?
Quick, yes.
Great catch-up, lovely. Okay. We used to work at the other place. It's funny seeing his face behind the glass, because the other place, he was behind the glass with me. The good days, the good old days, I like to call those, Catherine.
Oh, not the dark days.
No, those are the good old days. And then the last 10 years have been basically a sea of misery.
Yeah, it perked up in the last 3. All right, let's ignore what happened this time last year. But apart from that, brilliant.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give it, now is a good time to give us a call, because we're going to go to a break. We're going to play the news, and then we've got another hour of this. Have you got the hang of it yet? Do you understand how it works? You can call in about basically anything. We want to carry on a list of things that are brilliant, and me and Kath will play things that are brilliant, tennis in a bit. But you can call in about that, of course. You can call in about the state of your mental health. Always happy to talk about that. And I did get a little bit worried last year that maybe we talked about it too much. No, I don't think we do. So
well, clearly some people still have a problem with it. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. So we'll do that. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. And I know it's kind of freeing and unnerving and unsettling, because I'm not set here giving you a question. I'm not giving you an agenda that you need to call in about. And you know, it's to the detriment of the number of calls we get, but the quality of calls is superb.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, it's the strangest thing. I wasn't looking out for anything. My boat had just set sail. I was flying as the wind prevailed. What did you think you were doing? I couldn't shake loose, not from you, not from you. I couldn't shake loose, now I don't mind. Put your hands up, say you won't stop giving me love, 'cause I need you to feel me, feel me. Put your hands up, say you won't stop giving me love. I don't care if it's greedy, greedy, whatever you want, you've got it. Whatever you do, I'm on it. Ooh, whatever you want, you've got it. Just put your hands up. I was a lonely girl, swimming lost in the widest sea, but the truth of it, ain't no man could ever get to me now. I just see stars when I'm with you. Oh, this is my heart that I give you. What did you do with your voodoo, voodoo child? What did you do to me? Put your hands up, say you won't stop giving me love, 'cause I need you to feel me, feel me. Put your hands up, say you won't stop giving me love. I don't care if it's greedy, greedy, whatever you want, you've got it. Whatever you do, I'm on it. Ooh, whatever you want, you've got it. Just put your hands up. Put your hands up. Up, 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 up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up, say you won't stop giving me love, 'cause I need you to feel me, feel me. Put your hands up, say you won't stop giving me love. I don't care if it's greedy, greedy, whatever you want, you've got it. Whatever you do, I'm on it. Whatever you want, you've got it. Just put your hands up. Put your hands up now. Come on, put your hands up now. Whatever you want, you got it. Just put your hands up.
Oh, I do think she's excellent, Marina Ballo. Found that CD in the back of my car. So I don't know if I've listened to it. I mean, boy, it's not been out of my car all Christmas. We were digging that, and the boys were digging that when we went to the Star Wars exhibition.
Really?
Yeah, we put that on in the Star Wars exhibition, and they were enjoying that. So fun times are guaranteed for all. 0344 499 1000. We have Chris on the motorway 60. Good evening, Chris.
Hi, Ian, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Chris. What you got?
Well, I was just really interested in what you were saying really about yourself and about life, about turning things round.
Yes.
Just want to share a little bit with you, really. I mean, my background is that I was a motivational recovery worker working with people in addiction for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of a blow last year myself. June last year, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, at 47. Unfortunately, it spread. It was bowel cancer, and it spread to my liver and my lungs.
Yeah.
You know, but I've got to say, Ian, you know, the thing is, it is what it is. And just like you said about life, sometimes it's meeting life on life terms, and it's hard.
Hang on a minute. when they tell you, if I ask anything you don't want to answer, Chris, then you just tell me to jog on.
Please, I'm open. No.
All right.
Honestly, Barry, you asked what you want.
So you obviously knew you were ill, right? It's good, otherwise you wouldn't have gone to the doctors. But did you suspect it was going to be as bad as that? And how do you react when they say, right, here we go, Chris, yeah, you're going to die?
Well, the ironic thing was unfortunately 10 years previous I was diagnosed with IBS, and it mirrors every single symptom of bowel cancer.
Oh, okay,
now,
right.
You've got to remember, I was for the diagnosis that I've got, where it's terminal, it's very young.
Yeah.
You know, it's a young, it's a, not being nasty, but it's more in an older population.
Yeah.
That you get it. And what happened with me was I fell ill, lost weight dramatically, didn't eat or drink for 3 weeks, got a bloated stomach. Obviously went to casualty a few times. I got sent away with a urinary infection.
Yeah.
I went to my doctor. I wasn't registered because I was never ill. I'd always kept myself fit. I'd never smoked in my life. Vegetarian for 26 years. So I was hitting the tick boxes that you see about you shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
But cut a very long story short of what you said, I got scanned, sent into the hospital, and then one evening, 7 people come in, pulled the curtains around my bed. I was with my partner, bless her, and they just said, we've got the results of your scan. And I said, oh, right, okay. And he said, well, what do you think it is? I said, well, I don't know, you've got the results of the scan, you know. Jokingly, I just went, well, it's not cancer. And as cool as anything, he went, Chris, you've got cancer, stage 4. He said, it's spread to your lungs and your liver. When I leave here, a nurse is going to shove a tube down your nose into your stomach, and we've got to save your life with an operation tomorrow to fit you with a bag, because if not, you're going to die. We've got 12 hours. Is there anything you want to say? And me being me, Mr. Optimist, I just said, well, it is what it is. I don't know what... I can throw myself on the floor in, I can kick and scream, cry, curse, go off on one, you know... It ain't going to change what it is.
So where are you now with it, Chris? Are you still going to die?
Well, yeah. What I am at the moment, believe it or not, tomorrow I'm actually at the fantastic hospital at Christie's.
Yeah.
I'm in treatment at Christie's. You know, they're fantastic there. And me being me is, I haven't actually asked, I know it sounds daft, Ian, but I haven't asked for dates and times, so I don't believe in that. If not, it goes on your calendar in your head, and you're sort of...
Yeah.
You're watching for everything, do you know what I mean? I'm a very positive man. I've got 2 beautiful children. I'm just literally driving back. I've literally taken them back from Christmas. I've had them for Christmas.
Yeah.
I've got a 7-year-old little girl, 12-year-old boy. They both know. I'm very open with them. They both understand that Daddy may not be around for as long as we're hoping.
Yeah.
But, you know, where I am at the moment, Ian, I'm on cycle 29 of my chemotherapy.
Yeah.
I've been in treatment for 15 months. I shouldn't be talking to you now, really. You know, I should have really died on the table in the operation. I realise that now, how ill I was. But, you know, I'm a very positive man, Ian. I believe we're graced with life. You know, I'm blessed talking to you now. I hope I can give motivation to other people that are listening. You know, you want to do something. Like you said earlier on, I was listening to you. This is why I rung, because I was listening to your story, really, about yourself. You know, you've got to knuckle down. You've got to focus. You've got to have belief. Self-affirmation is the most positive thing you can ever do to yourself.
How did you tell your kids?
Well, my 7-year-old little... I've always been very open with my children.
Yeah.
And, you know, they live down on the Isle of Wight, believe it or not. I'm actually driving back now.
Yeah.
I've been driving for half a day, it feels like. But we talk about it quite openly. And my 7-year-old little girl, it was more... to explain to her more, it was a bit like I had a bug in my body, and I have to have special medication to stop me being sick.
Yeah.
She understood that. The real ironic thing was actually last time I took them back, before Christmas when they were on their half term, we were driving down, and she was looking out the window, and she just said, we were talking about people, we always talk about helping other people out, and we're lucky with what we got, and, you know, and everything. She just said to me, Daddy, have you got cancer? And I nearly crashed the car, if I'm honest. And her name's Winnie, bless her. And I said, Winnie, yeah, Daddy has got cancer. And she went really quiet. She looked out the window. And bless her, she said, Daddy, don't worry, we stand up to cancer.
There we
go. On telly.
There we go.
We stand up to cancer, she said.
Good for
Don't
her.
you worry about it, Daddy. Don't you worry. Now, I'm a 12-year-old little boy. Yeah, he knows everything. I've told him everything. And it's a journey, Ian, for them. The weird thing is, what I want to try and say to people, get the message out there, is that my journey is so different to the people that are around me and that love me. If you imagine a tornado going off, all right, and that's the cancer of a tornado, and you're seeing things lift up and fly around, and you've got emotions and anger and everything. I'm in the middle of that tornado, Ian, and it's very quiet.
Yeah.
And that's how it's got to be. And one thing I just want to get across, because I don't want to blather on too much, you've got other people who want to talk, but really, basically, you know, you act on an emotion in this life, on an emotion, you're going to muck things up. You've got to go emotional and then get very logical, and that is the hardest thing you can do. Because we act on emotions, we're humans. That's what we do. But you get logical with it, stand back, breathe, look at the problem, you know, you can deal with it. But, you know, it's just really what I wanted to share with you, mate. You touched me a bit when you were saying about how you're needing to change in your self-talk and stuff, and it's so true.
Hey, nice one, man. Best of luck with it all.
No, thank you. Thank you for giving me your time.
Speak to you again soon, Chris.
Yeah, you take care, fella. All the best.
Bye-bye. Yay. Isn't it, though, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know. Very few times I get speechless. I didn't know what to say to him. There's loads of stuff I wanted to ask him, and then I didn't know.
I think you could have as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely. We'll speak to him again. That was a cracking call, Chris. Thank you. And I'm the thing that silenced me is the positivity.
Yeah.
That's the thing that silenced me, because I didn't really know how to respond to it. Didn't know how to respond to it.
You don't have to.
No, not at all. It's knocked me for six, that has a little bit. Let's have a quick break, and then we'll speak to John and Matt and Paul and Al. We've got loads of calls. Blimey, this is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
I want to do brilliant tennis, where we just say something that's brilliant.
All right.
But we got loads of calls.
Well, let's hold off.
So, and it's just I was going to say Mallet's Mallet. I saw Mallet's Mallet in he was in the pantomime.
And he was brilliant at it.
He was absolutely brilliant. The kids had a picture with him. They didn't have a clue who he was.
No.
The kids had a picture just because my wife wanted a picture.
Yeah. It's like when I went to a panto as a kid and Charlie Drake came on and expected everyone to love him. Hello, my darlings! Silence from a load of Mancunian kids who didn't have a clue.
Timmy Mallet was brilliant. Anthea Turner, well, you know. And Jason Gardner was excellent as the bad guy. It was a good panto, actually. As soon as I sat down, I suddenly remembered, I don't really like panto.
No, I hate it, but I go every year with my mum because she loves it.
Yeah.
We take the kids as a kind of a beard. But the fact that, in fact, I'm hoping one year mum might just take the kids and I'd have to accompany.
This was a good one, though, and also it's the first time that the boys have every time we go, I said, boys, you're allowed to make as much noise as you want, whenever you want. It's panto. Ooh. You can shout out as much as you want. And they've never done it. And this was the first year when they got into it. And there was a lovely bit. Timmy Mallet singing Itsy Witsy Teeny Weeny Yellow.
Of course he did.
And he was singing that. And he was getting everyone up to do a silly dance. And my boy's like, I don't want to do that. I said, come on, let's get up and just do the dance.
Oh, my mum would be straight up.
And once they got into it, once they realised that everyone was doing it and that everyone was looking stupid, they found it hilarious.
We're taking my nephew, Charlie, for the first time this year. He's going to either A, love it, B, hate it.
Yeah, or C, somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, maybe.
You mean you're taking him because panto season is over after Christmas?
I know,
and New
but my
Year.
mum goes gallivanting. I've only just found out where she's been.
Swingers.
No. That's a final
that's
rumour.
I knew.
They went to Bruges and Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Anyone's thinking of going to Amsterdam? Here's my mum's summary. She's like Judith Chalmers, except not as orange.
Yeah.
She says, too many bikes, you're always in the way.
Is she referring to prostitutes? Because they are sex workers.
No, she means actual bicycles.
I'm glad you reminded me of that, because I'd written something down. I write like a little list of things that I might want to talk about. One of them was brilliant. Another them was Copperfield, which you talk about. And I've written down Towel Dad.
Oh, no, don't.
Well, I won't if you don't want me to, but you told me this. He won't be listening.
I know, but he tells me off for referring to him on the radio, so someone else's dad fell over.
We're not playing Here Comes the Sun, so...
All right. No references to this on Twitter, anyone.
Guys, focus. Right,
He's really hurt himself.
Yeah, he's done himself a mischief.
Don't, because actually this might be a top tip. This might be a health tip if you've fallen over on a cruise ship.
I have never heard of this technique.
Well, my sister did it as well when she did she had a horrible car accident and she was also a little bit tender around the ribs area.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he fell over before breakfast, so it wasn't a New Year's Eve falling over. As we saw happening, didn't we?
Didn't we just?
A lot of falling over. Falling into people's mouths.
What?
Yeah, that's
just
what
tell us.
Anyway,
two calls have just dropped off.
Because they can't hear anything when they're on hold.
No, they were on the lines. They were waiting.
All right,
I had them put through.
All right, hang on. So he fell over and he's done himself a mischief.
Yeah.
The ship's doctor.
Yeah.
Reckons it was just muscular.
Yeah.
But every time he coughs, or for heaven forbid sneezes, he goes into spasm.
Oh.
Yeah, it really hurts.
Yeah.
So the technique that my sister has employed, and I think it might be from the medical school of my mum, is wrapping a towel around your midriff, and every time you want to cough, squeezing really hard. Apparently it supports your torso for coughing purposes.
Well.
So you may laugh about it, but I wouldn't. He's really hurt himself.
Yep. Paul is on the line. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Paul. What you got for us, Paul?
I'm a bit echoey. Am I all right?
You're kind of echoey.
Because I've got you on speakerphone. I don't know how to... My phone's gone all black now, so I don't know how to change it.
Okay, well, don't need to be racist. Let's...
No, I mean dark.
Well, again, we don't say that word. Okay, Paul, let's assume that this is good enough. What do you want to say?
Well, it might not be good enough. I don't know, Ian.
Oh.
I wasn't going to ring. I was listening, and I heard that bloke talking about adoption.
Yeah.
And
an hour ago.
An hour ago, and it inspired me to ring you up.
Oh yeah.
Because it makes me laugh how these parents, how these birth parents say, "Oh no, they're better off with they're much better off, they're much better than me, blah de blah, and all this hullabaloo." And I think to myself, do they actually know what it feels like to be adopted?
Well, obviously not.
Feel like it. Pardon?
Well, if they've not been adopted themselves, then obviously not. No.
No, because it makes you feel like a second-rate citizen.
Right.
Before you've even started.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does cause issues. But I don't think in the situation that the previous caller was talking about, the mother sounded, from what we heard, to be medically unfit to look after the child.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I've never had children. I've got a low sperm count. Well, it's not low. I've got funny tails. They don't really know which way they're going.
So, how many? What is your sperm count? Low or?
No. He said I went into the hospital and he was like, "Oh, be careful about the parking because you've got to, it's got to be delivered in."
Is that a euphemism or? No, it is a euphemism.
It was a doctor, and he said, "You've got, you might want to do it there because it's got to be delivered in a certain period. I think it's an hour."
Oh, so they wanted you to? They wanted you to make your sperm in your car.
Well, no, I did it. I went in the disabled toilet. It took me ages because it was so. It took me ages. It was horrible. Yeah, I thought you might find that funny.
Hang on a minute! So that's why there's so much room in those toilets.
Well, what it was, I went in there.
Yeah.
And I did the deed eventually.
So you went in there. Did you just go in there, just go to toilet, and then suddenly, because it was disabled toilet, you started feeling a bit horny?
Well, it wasn't. No, it's the first toilet I seen.
Right. Okay. So you went into the disabled toilet.
Yeah.
And
thrashed it.
Did what?
I thrashed it. You cut me off.
No,
I thrashed it. I didn't really feel.
No.
When things. I mean, the girlfriend at the time was on that Clomid, and she used to say, "Come on, it's time."
Yeah.
And I say, "Well, what do you mean it's time?"
Yeah.
I'm probably walking the dog or something. And she said, "Oh no, we need to." And I used to think, well, it's not really very spontaneous, is it? And it was a bit like that in the toilet, to be honest.
So you thrashed it. You thrashed it in the disabled toilets. Gave it to the doctor. And what did he say about your sperm, Lee? Paul?
Well, no. The funny thing was, when I was in the toilet, I come out all red-faced, and this nurse said, "Oh no, we've got a little room you can go and do that in." Because it must have been in a department where probably found myself to the right place. Yeah, and she said, "Oh no," she said,
"They have a booth with magazines."
I thought you were going to say there was a lady in a wheelchair waiting.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But I didn't know that. So anyway, I come out with this.
So you had to use the old memory bank when you could have used that.
I had to use the
disabled toilets.
No, I can't say the word.
No, you can't.
No, it's not the memory bank.
Anyway.
It's something else bank.
Yes. So you provided a sample. Move on.
I provided a sample.
What did he say about your seed?
Yeah, I provided a sample. It wasn't very good. I looked at it and I thought it was really disappointing.
How do you?
And I handed it over and he looked at me. And the bloke looked at me and he's like, I think he was a bit dismayed with it as well.
What? He just looked at. What did you have it in? Like a test tube or something?
Yeah, well, it's a bit bigger than a test tube. It's got a bigger.
Okay, yeah. And so what? He just looked. You handed it to him, and he looked at it and went, "Oh, I can see your problem there, mate."
Yeah, because there wasn't very much there.
Oh God!
And you're supposed to not indulge in any.
No. Yeah.
For 3 days before you do this thing.
And had you indulged for 3 days?
No, I hadn't. No.
Right, what did he say about your semen?
What he said was, he said it's brilliant because they're all rapid swimmers, but the tails are a bit funny, so they don't really know which way they're going.
They've got no sense of direction.
So it's like dodgems.
Yeah, they just swim anywhere. They don't know the direction they're going. That's why I ain't any kids.
And can you train them? Because you can train dogs and you can train sea monkeys. Can you train seamen?
I doubt it.
Okay, I just wondered.
Anyway, but getting back to the adoption thing.
Oh, yeah. Are you adopted?
Yeah, I am.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've just said that on national radio. Now, some people, it's like a dirty secret, isn't it? It's not my fault.
Which dirty secret are we talking about? The adoption isn't a dirty secret. Knocking one out in a disabled toilet is.
Pardon?
No.
It's interesting you say that, because I don't think people consider adoption to be a dirty secret anymore. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, yeah, but now I don't think they do.
Well, I was adopted in the 60s here.
Yeah, I know, but we're not in the 60s now.
No, I know that, no.
Do you?
Do I what?
Okay. But, well, you feel that just by saying you're adopted, you feel that you're unburdening yourself?
I felt like what irritates
me. Is it a relief? Do you feel relieved?
A little bit.
Okay.
Well, but a lot of people have sort of think it because of my views on it. But what irritates me about it is, in the Daily Mirror a year ago, I seen a beautiful young blonde-haired girl. She was probably about, I don't know, I'm not very good at children's ages, probably 5 or 6, something like that.
Yes.
And they put her on the front page of the Daily Mirror and said, this little girl is looking for a home for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, that's all very well.
Yeah.
Right.
What about the ugly children?
Well, no, I didn't think that. I thought, you tell people not to adopt a dog at Christmas. Don't get a dog at Christmas. And now you're pimping this child out. Right? You're pimping a child out. He's laughing at me, look. I'm being
you're turning. It's just such a funny way to look at it.
You've turned a phrase.
No, but you're pimping a child out.
Stop saying that. You're not.
That's got no. That doesn't know about it. Doesn't know she's probably on the front page of the Daily Mirror and being pimped out like some God knows what. I think he's wrong.
Okay. Paul, I appreciate your call, mate. I'm glad that you feel you've relieved yourself on my show.
Well, I've relieved myself a few times.
Sweet Lord.
This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Okay. Matt and Ken and Al, stay there. We'll come to you in a minute. Let's go to John first. Evening, John.
Evening, Ian. How are you?
Ian,
do you know what? Waiting on the phone to you, everyone must be exactly the same, okay?
Yeah.
I've been waiting, and I've listened to a couple of callers, the last two callers.
I'm sorry about that.
And the amount of times I've thought differently about what I'm going to say, depending on who you're following.
Yeah, I know. I know. I make it hard for myself by not giving out topics and questions. I'm making it hard for you guys as well. And then we take a caller like that last one. We might as well just go home half an hour early. If it's the two mics tonight, get them in now, and they can do their show.
I'd like to quote some lyrics to you, and I'd like you to bring up the song as soon as you know it.
Okie dokie, yeah. So
based on the last call, yeah?
Yeah.
Been working so hard, I'm punching my card, 8 hours for what? Oh, tell me what I got. I've got this feeling, that time's just holding me down.
I know it.
Yeah.
I'll hit the ceiling.
Hang on.
You got it.
Hang on a minute. It's a classic. It's a classic. Here we go. Where's an audio?
I knew after the first line.
Is this on John's computer on? Where's me noise? Where's me noise? Here we go.
There it is.
Classic!
Please tell me it's in the podcast.
A lot of dancing movies in the 80s, weren't there? A lot of dancing movies.
A lot of movies named after songs.
Yes. That's true.
That was the original Kenny Loggins. I'm cheating by looking at the internet, by the way. I don't know if you've got knowledge.
I remember once on a television show, me and Kate Lawler, we had Claire Goose on, who was in Casualty, I believe, at the time. And we thought we were being hilarious by singing, Claire Goose, kick off your Sunday shoes. She didn't laugh once.
Oh, wow.
Miserable. How miserable.
I don't have any Sunday shoes.
No, kick off your Sunday shoes. Yes.
I had just one very basic question to ask. I haven't heard you over the New Year or anything.
Yes.
I fancied asking you this random question because it's the only place I can do it in this environment. You and Kath.
Yes.
You guys have got a great working relationship.
Well.
And
you don't know what it's like before and after the show.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. I'm just intrigued. I'm one of these idiots that thinks too much about you and Catherine, probably.
Oh, God.
No, I just wonder, you know, the
Not
way...
in the disabled toilets, I hope.
Oh, flipping heck.
Yeah.
Hey.
God, no. No, you know, sometimes you say it's all an act. You know, sometimes you've got to come on and... Well, I say sometimes, it's probably all the time you've got to come on and perform your show.
Yeah.
What are you and Kath like? I'm just intrigued. Is that, you know, when you turn up for work and you've got a few hours before you're on the radio.
Generally, what happens is I come in earlier than I need to because I don't really do any prep for the show.
Comes in to annoy me,
and I get bored and I annoy Kath, who's busy. She's busy podcasting this show and making the 7 days of talk radio and doing all. She's got work to do, and I'll come in. And I will throw things at her. Yeah. I'll show her videos on YouTube.
Or metaphorically.
Sorry?
No, he actually literally throws things at me.
Yeah. I'll see if I can.
He drops my chair.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get bits of paper to stick on her hair. It's bullying, John.
He wheels me around. He plays this game where he throws me really hard in my chair against a wall. Or
It's workplace bullying, John.
I don't believe that. No, I kind of, I get this thought in my head that you're really, really great, buddies and stuff, and you're sharing ideas when you're both at home via Twitter and stuff, and think, oh, I've got a great idea. And then one side of me is kind of thinking, you're probably a right miserable so-and-so the minute that microphone goes off at 1 o'clock.
It can be.
Well,
I thought, well, great, yeah, God, now I can go home. Thank God I don't have to listen to any more of her and him and...
No.
Oh no! Listen, most of the time, I'm aware that this is the best job I've ever had, and I absolutely love it. And sometimes it's harder work than others, and sometimes it is a job. But most of the time, it's a pleasure. Me and Kath wind each other up and annoy each other, and sometimes I go a bit too far, and she gets upset. And sometimes she goes a bit too far, and I get upset.
What are you on about?
Shut up, man.
I suppose the office wall is as far as you can go when you're trying to throw her against
it's
the
like
chair.
Kath Bowling is basically what he's playing.
He's right, she's right. John, listen, thank you for that. I hope that's cleared that up. Matt!
Hello.
Hello, Matt.
How are you?
I've got a really itchy head.
Well, that's probably because you're not looking after your scalp.
Well, how would one look after one's scalp?
One would need to attract the attentions of a masseuse.
Oh.
Or you could get some German castrol technology. Or I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm talking about. What I wanted to say was...
What's happened to everyone tonight?
But really, it's the end of the holidays, Ian. We're all
they're supping up.
Yeah.
in our pits.
Yes.
Now the thing is that what I wanted to say was
yes, Matt.
That the brilliant thing. What's brilliant?
Yeah. Oh, at last, someone's picked up on the topic I put out 2.5 hours ago. Yes. What's brilliant?
What's brilliant is human resilience.
Oh.
The ability to see the positives and to strive for the best.
Yes.
Now, you and I and others have had a bit of a... I'm going to swear now.
No, don't stump that. That's a yellow... You got a yellow card, Matt. Yellow card.
Oh, no.
No, yellow card. Honestly...
You dumped it.
I dumped it. Honestly,
really?
I got two loose lips, sink ships, and a couple of ships sank last year because of loose lips.
And C-bombs.
So we can't say the
No, we can't. Honestly, I am tightening I got a bit slack, and I'm tightening my belt when it comes to bad language, so no.
Can I say bummy?
Why would you want to?
Well, we've had a bummy year.
That sounds quite good.
Bummy year.
Sounds fun. Yes, we've had a bummy year.
It could be fun, but it probably isn't.
No, we've had a bummy year. Yeah.
One of those years.
Yeah.
And things are potentially on the up and up, but you've got to take the positive attitude. And I'm amazed by the human ability to view the current situation with Trump coming in as president, with Brexit looming on the horizon, with everything that's gone on this year.
With nuclear war.
Yeah. I mean, quite probably not, but, nasty things looming on the horizon.
Yeah.
Idiots in charge.
Yeah.
For people to just say, hey, let's just make the best of it.
Let's party.
Let's
party, dude.
I think that we need to celebrate the human ability to view the positives, to look
yes.
to the...
Oh, definitely. But let me say as a caveat, I'm also aware that there are periods in people's lives, mine included, 8 days ago, when, looking for the positive and being positive in attitude, it's not always possible. You know that, man. It's not always possible. And I've had a real good burst of about 5 or 6 days where I've been on the up, and that's brilliant. But I might go home and who knows. So, and I don't want people who are listening who can't see the positive to feel that we are in some way criticising them.
What I'm trying to suggest is that those who can't, and I for the whole of this year, the whole of last year, rather, I should catch up with the calendar.
Yes.
Have been unable to see the positive aspects, to try and find ways to look at the reasons that the future can be a better thing than it is now.
Yes.
And I would say, particularly to those that can't see it now, that can't find a way to see why they should keep going, why they should press on, why they should just keep their heads up, is that there's always going to be a reason why you can find something. And if there isn't, then reach out. Find someone who can help you find that reason. Find someone who can help you identify a reason that you didn't know was there. And that,
but that does, again, I don't think that applies to everyone.
Of course, I completely agree with you.
But I don't want you to think that I'm criticising you, overly criticising you. I'm just aware that by, the thing I talked about an hour and a half ago, that works for me, and that's great, and I'm not in any way suggesting that'll work for anyone else, and I'm always slightly cautious around universal rules.
Oh, no, there's no universal rule. There's absolutely no universal rule, and there should never be a universal rule applied to any of this.
You just did one. There should never... You just dealt one, Matt. There should never be a universal rule applied.
No, you can't apply a universal rule to individuals.
No.
But the general ability of the human race to find positives out of negatives, to find ways of...
All right, hang on a minute. We're going to play this game. We're going to go to a break in a minute, and we've got Ken, we've got Al, but I want to have a quick go at this, right? So we're just going to play. You're going to... So it's me, Kath, then you, okay? We're just going to say... We're going to play Brilliant Bingo, right? So we've just got to say something that's brilliant, right? The big. There you go. I'm going to be strict. We dumped that one, did we, Johnny? Okay, I mean,
we've got a man down.
We've got a man down. Strict rules.
Good.
That was I got too slack. Your fault as producer, obviously, but I wouldn't blame you on air.
Good.
I'll just blame you in any emails or correspondence with Ofcom or the bosses.
That's fine. I'll get a report in about 6 months' time about an interview I never did.
Okay, great. So he's gone. How could he swear on that? Let's take a break.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Gosh, what a busy show. Let's go to Al. Evening, Al.
Ian.
Al.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Yeah, well, not a hip there, but a Happy New Year. But now I know what the handrail in the disabled toilet is for after all these years. But anyway, for bracing yourself.
Yeah, we got it. You didn't need to hammer it home.
To be honest, Al, I thought exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I also thought about that disabled cord. Don't pull on that. Get the warden in.
I'm surprised you didn't play a 10cc record straight
Can we please stop?
It's a bit inadequate, but...
I will never be able to use a disabled toilet again.
Yeah, me
Good,
either.
you're not disabled.
Well, yeah.
Nor was he.
Exactly.
You have to use them now and again. You do. It's
they're so spacious.
Yeah, they are spacious, and they always have mirrors in. Slightly low mirrors, but you
let's come on. Let's
Anyway.
come on, Al. What have you got?
Well, I was going to talk to you about something an hour and a half back when you were talking about the dropping off the medication and so on.
Yeah.
But also, what you were talking about was the invective and the assaults and the kind of people trying to harpoon you on Twitter.
Yes.
And I just wanted to ask you if you'd heard about the phenomenon called gaslighting.
Yes. Where you slowly make someone think they're going bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the ancient, well, not the ancient, but from the 1930s play called Gaslight and so on.
Yeah.
And do you not feel that these people are basically gaslighting you and just doing it in a kind of public arena? And
no, they were bullying and trolling and winding me up and attacking me. I don't think it was gaslighting. I don't think it was as subtle as that. It was full on blatant lying and bullying.
But you're quite candid about having, a mental health problem. I mean, you...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were definitely trying to sink an already sinking ship. Yeah. Of course. No. They were doing that definitely.
But it's just, if you are candid about these problems in a public arena, and people sort of write to you, and they are writing to you, aren't they, and saying, "Hey, depressed boy," and just instantly going in with bullying. Something, that's essentially trying to play on your. Yeah. It's just. Well, I mean, to say it's wrong is kind of.
Well, but here's the thing, and I've been talking for ages about my relationship with Twitter, and I think I might be getting close to a solution, right? So I've deleted all my tweets. There's only about half a dozen tweets I've got up. I deleted them all.
Yeah,
and I've hardly been on over there on it over Christmas.
Yeah,
I've been tweeting about the show and plugging the show and stuff. And next day I'll delete most of the tweets from the night before.
Yeah.
I am going tomorrow. Catherine is going to install a thing called a net nanny on my phone, and what that means is, right? I know it's brilliant. What it means is it's used for porn, right? So you can't access adult sites. But
the nanny herself is an object of desire.
Well, exactly.
Anyway.
But you can also specify sites and apps that you don't want access to on your phone. And so I'm going to try for a bit. I'm going to delete the Twitter app. I'm going to delete the Facebook app. And I'm going to try for a bit.
Them? You're going to get rid of them?
Yes, the apps, right? Pay attention.
Yeah,
I'm going to I'm going to give it a week to see if I can survive not being able to access Twitter and Facebook on my phone.
Yeah.
But still have it on my computer, so I will be able to in the evening.
Right,
when I come in for work, I can then go on Twitter and say, on tonight's show. Now, if there is no great detrimental impact on number of callers and number of listeners and number of tickets sold for live events, then I'll stick with that. Because Twitter, honestly, and I've been looking at one of these idiots that's been bullying me.
Yeah.
And I found myself I just kept looking at his page, and it's obviously it's a bloke having a breakdown, right? And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see someone sinking like that. And Twitter, I just think, brings out the worst in people. So
yeah,
I'm going to try and take a further. I'm going to take a further step back.
I don't know if I saw maybe in the timeline a challenging call. I did see a challenging call a few months back where someone rang you up and was being kind of very bullying to you, and then they're playing good cop, bad cop in the same call.
Yeah, well,
and basically attacking you and then going, sorry, love, look, love, I just care about you.
Oh, that was Andy, a.k.a. Alex, who called in.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's
and that would rattle anyone. That would rattle me. If you have 4 days to prepare for a call like that or whatever, and then sabotage, spring a trap like that, it would do rattle anyone.
But it's just jealousy and its bitterness, and I see it for what it is, and that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it's just someone who's wine o'clock.
Once we worked out who it was, that took the edge off it, didn't it? Because when it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, 30 seconds into it, we worked out what it was. Anyway, listen, here's another thing. I don't want to give these people. This is why I'm not. Well, I just said his name, but I don't want to say their names and give them publicity and think that they've got points on me, because they haven't. They haven't. Not tonight. They have got no points on me, and there'll be more. I'll get more from both of these gentlemen. And it's the thing that gets me is they're broadcasters. They're broadcasters doing it. I don't get it. I wish them luck. I wish them success. I hope that their businesses and their ventures are great successes. Nothing to do with me, Governor. Let's go to Ken. Evening, Ken.
Oh, hello, Ian. How are you?
Oh, it sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire.
No, I wanted to talk about, I went to celebrate love. I want to talk about what's brilliant. All those things.
What's brilliant
in the show?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
We'll go on. What's brilliant then, Ken?
I mean, for me, first of all, it's the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay. He is the first thing in everybody's life who's brilliant.
I see what he's doing.
He's all about the love. He's all about everything that's beautiful in the world.
It's quite a good accent.
It's a bit Billy Connolly.
But there's one other thing that is beautiful and amazing in this world.
Yes.
It's the mueslis.
The what?
The mueslis.
The mueslis?
Aye.
What about the mueslis?
Well, I mean, I love the mueslis. there's so much to it. There's so much diversity and so much.
What the
amazing-
breakfast cereal?
Aye. I mean, sometimes the music can be bitter and sour, but there's so many other things you can put in it to make it amazing and beautiful.
Now you sound like George Galloway.
First of all,
the raisin.
I'd put in,
We have the raisin!
There's so many raisins to love the mueslis.
Well, thanks for calling, Ken.
But the other thing that you want to put in your muesli, just to spice it up a little bit.
Yes.
You want to put in the macadamia nuts. Then, just to sweeten it a little bit, once you got your nuts in there, some of the what's it called? The sugar, Muscovado sugar.
Thanks for calling. I can't.
He veered between Billy Connolly. Hard-Eep Coley was in there a bit as well.
Oh, gosh.
And, your man...
man Galloway.
But not really Holy Ken.
That's good, though. He waited half an hour for that.
Bless
I enjoyed
him.
that.
Bless
We've had some good calls tonight. We've had some rubbish ones. There's not,
I don't think we have, actually. They've all played their part.
Well...
There'll be one I'll be taking home with me, though, in a way I didn't really want to.
Oh, God.
Flipping heck.
But imagine you've been waiting to use... You're in a wheelchair and you're waiting to use the toilet.
You're going to be long!
And then he comes out and he's all red-faced carrying a little Petri dish.
And there's a specific room for that.
Yeah, they have a room for it.
Mm.
And
I wouldn't want to be the second one in, would you? I'll wait.
All right. Brilliant tennis. Paul McCartney.
All right. Oh, John Ronson.
All right, Matt Haig.
Yeah. Can I play Snap? Can I say him as well?
No, of course you can't.
Who else do I think's brilliant? Oh, do you know who's really cheered me up?
Yeah.
Thingy.
Done a little bit more than Thingy.
Alan Bennett.
Oh, yeah, Alan Bennett. All right, well, I've got similar to Alan Bennett, Frank Sidebottom.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah. I know, I love him.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Victoria Wood because I know she's not with us anymore, but I'm glad she was.
I tell you what's brilliant.
Go on.
Christmas dinner.
Oh!
Christmas dinner is, and this year, beautiful.
Silly sausage.
So?
We loved that.
Yeah?
This Christmas, yeah. We all had a go.
Pie face.
Next year...
Pie faces.
I've already bought the Christmas crackers for next year.
What?
With handbells in. Christmas crackers.
You bought the Christmas crackers for next year?
Yeah, because I've realised that the family plays together, doesn't get too drunk and start arguing with each other.
Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Good morning, Iain Lee.
Yes, Dennis.
It's no laughing matter when you're waiting at the bottom of a stair lift to go to the toilet and the bloody stair is at the top.
No.
And you're standing there cross-legged expecting something to happen if you didn't get down on time. I believe you me, it has happened halfway up.
Well, that's...
It's funny. It ain't funny, brother. It ain't funny.
Great story, Dennis.
You might have missed...
Thank you. Oh, John, lovely to see you, mate. Catherine.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Back tonight at 10. Ta-ta.
Talk Radio. Intelligent, organic entertainment.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.